Good morning. I'm here to speak on behalf of Lee's Pine Summit family. So first I want to start by thanking you, Leslie, for giving us the opportunity to share a little bit about what he meant to us. When I met him 3.5 years ago, I had just moved to Big Bear and started my job at Pine Summit. My first impressions of him were, I'm sure, what most people think when they first meet him. Who is this goofball? But Leland's laugh and bright spirit were unique and infectious. He was the guy who walked in with an enormous grin on his face and some corny joke of the day. My favorite one was, "How much milk is in a can of evaporated milk, Sarah?" Of course, I'd tell him and he'd say, "No, none, it's evaporated." And he would just walk off hilariously laughing and shrugging his shoulders in his dishwashing apron. It seemed his goal in life to make people happy, to hear you laugh, and to make sure you knew you had a friend in him. He was a simple man who led a humble life, and he was possibly one of the purest souls I know. And of course, I think he wanted to be a pirate when he grew up. Over the years of working with him, Lee and I had many conversations about things both mundane and important. He told us stories about the trouble he got into throughout his childhood. He talked about the influence his grandfather had on him as a teenager. Even though they passed many years earlier, he still missed his parents deeply and never missed an opportunity to talk about them lovingly. The first time I heard him play piano, I remember being in awe at how beautifully he played and how effortless it seemed. He always gave his mother credit for making him take piano lessons, even though he hated the endless practice. Leland was so many things to so many people at Pine Summit. He found a good friend and formed a close bond with our coworker, Lisa Powell. Lisa says he was like a brother to her, and her affection and patience for his antics demonstrated how much she cared for him. She started to call him Lily, and the nickname stuck. It was the one way you knew he could hear you across the dish room if you yelled it at him. And it became a term of endearment that fit him well. I asked some of my coworkers to tell me how they would describe him in a few words, and here's what I heard. Karen Horton recalled something I remember hearing him say to many of us when we asked him how he was doing. "Better now that I've seen you." He could be described as the goofy big brother or little brother, depending on how much older he was than you. The silly uncle who has your back, especially if you want to go get into mischief. The friend who stands beside you and is more loyal than a brother. The guy you could count on to do what he said he would do always. If Lee made you a promise, it was as good as done. To the younger kids, he encouraged them to go to school and make a better life for themselves. As his supervisor, he was the guy I couldn't stay mad at on the occasion that I had to reprimand him, and it was usually for a badly timed joke. I know that today our Lily is in the presence of Almighty God, healed, whole, and in the company of the family who went before him. I'm certain that he is discovering that his reward in heaven is more abounding than he could ever have dreamed of or hoped for. I am at peace knowing that his life is a life that touched countless others and blessed us all in so many ways. I say to him today what I can only assume he has already heard from the mouth of his Lord. Well done, good and faithful servant. And he would say to us, don't cry, all is well with my soul. Thank you.